G'day guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be doing my tips for round 6 of the season, and what a round. Gather round was, ended up getting 6 out of 9, with most people getting beyond 6. 7 seemed to be the going rate, especially towards the top of the tree, which makes sense. We got Wiz 1998 still up in front on top of the ladder, so the ladder is definitely taking shape and definitely looking interesting at the top there. I am currently 13th and sick as a dog, so I might keep this short and sharp to the best of my ability. Alright, Thursday night footy, we've got Brisbane, Collingwood. This one will be at the Gabba. Lions had a crazy comeback, as they do, against the Doggies, 21-point winners there. The Pies a pretty comfortable win over the Swans at Adelaide Oval. I reckon the Lions will get the job done. Recent form suggests Collingwood will be right in this game and have a little bit of the wood on the Lions a little bit, but I will be backing in Brisbane to get the job done. Home deck, although the Pies do travel well, I'm almost mounting a case for Collingwood more so than Brisbane. Don't know how long you'll get away with playing one half of footy, so if the Pies get a massive lead, it could be interesting. Then we go over to Friday night football, Friday afternoon football. We've got North Melbourne and Carlton. North Melbourne, they went down to the Suns. That one, it was a pretty comprehensive win by the Suns, over 40 points. And then over to the Blues, had a pretty comfortable win over the Eagles, who were borderline non-competitive, so hard to read into that too much. I will be backing in the Blues, not with a lot of confidence, but I think, they'll be able to get the job done. Traditionally play well against North Melbourne. And, North haven't, shown enough just yet. They defeated Melbourne with a big last quarter. Melbourne 0-5. So the form line not quite there yet, but they're capable. Then we go over the Friday night game. West Coast up against the Bombers. Eagles were awful against the Blues, as we just mentioned. Essendon come to a win over Melbourne. I think it's Melbourne's second 39-point defeat in the last couple of weeks. Happy to go with the Bombers here. Hopefully the Eagles get the response they need. But, with the way Essendon playing footy versus the Eagles, it's poles apart. They're barely playing waffle standard footy, the Eagles, which is a bit of a slap in the face. That's the reality that we find ourselves in at the moment. We then move over to the Saturday games. We've got Melbourne and Fremantle. This one will be at the MCG. Melbourne went down to the Bombers, as mentioned, by 39 points. And the Dockers, after some early struggles in the game, with the Tigers up and about, pretty comfortable winners in the end. I think it was around that 10-goal margin. In traditional terms, Freo have a good track record against the Ds, and I've backed the Ds in 3 times this year, thinking they would respond, and they haven't been able to. The Dockers normally play well against them, and Ds are also, looking well out of sorts, and things are just slipping away at the moment. So I think, the Dockers get the win here. Then we go over to Adelaide Oval. This one will be 4:15. Very surprised in the odds there, actually, or who people think is going to win. Adelaide went down to the Cats on the Thursday night by 19 points, and the Giants had a really good win over the Saints, putting Saints to the sword in that third term. I'm leaning towards the Giants in this one. I think their ball movement halfback's going to be quite explosive and could catch Adelaide out, which is certainly the Cats showed how to go about it with the pressure, as well as scoring themselves. So I think the Giants will be too good for Adelaide at their home deck. But going to be a very interesting game. Then we go over to Saturday night. We've got Richmond up against Gold Coast. Not many punters giving the Tigers a much of a look here, which is fair enough. They went down to the Dockers by about 10 goals. Gold Coast won by about 48 points, thereabouts. Pretty comfortable winners in the end over North, who were competitive for about three and a half quarters, but fell away pretty badly. Have to go to the Suns here. They're looking really good. Haven't lost a game yet. Don't see it being against the Tigers. So, in all things being equal, they won't take them lightly, and they're playing some pretty exciting footy. Dominant out of that midfield. All right, then we go to the Sydney Cricket Ground. We've got Sydney, who went down to the Pies on the Friday night game at Gather Round, and Port Adelaide were astronomical against the Hawks. It was a 5-goal win in the end, but they did get out to 71 points at one stage in the match. So yeah, they were breathtaking throughout the final game of Gather Round. Port have a great record against Sydney. I think the only loss of recent times was the preliminary final, but outside of that, I think Port hadn't lost to them since 2016. So, look, you give Port a chance based off that fact. I'm going to back the Swannies in to respond. Home deck, I think they'll be too strong for Port, who do know how to pull a rabbit out of the hat with some of those one-off performances. But them being able to do that consistently has proved to be more than a challenge, I suppose, historically. So, if they can find a happy medium with the way they play, they'll be a lot more competitive. But I just think, Sydney will be too strong there. But Port Adelaide, right in that one. I don't think it's quite as disastrous as that. Okay, then we've got a Sunday night game. We've got the Western Bulldogs, and they are hosting the Saints. This one's at Marvel Stadium. The Doggies, they went down to Brisbane after being in a really good position. They were, I think, 39 points up in the third quarter, and then Lions did what they did. So 21-point loss in the end, and the Saints went down to the Giants. It was about 6-7 goals in that game. Oh, this is tough. I'm going to back the Saints in here. Pure body of work, who they've beaten, how they've beaten them. The half-back ball movement's been quite exciting to watch. The Doggies I've backed in a few times. They've obviously been able to win all their games, but yeah, just like what the Saints have been doing, and against the quality of opposition versus the Dogs have defeated Carlton and North Melbourne, whilst they were pretty solid wins. Got North and Carlton 14th and 15th, whilst it is still early in the season. What a clash this will be. Possibly, the match of the round. We've got Geelong and Hawthorn at the MCG, the classic Easter Monday clash. The Cats had a really good win over the Crows, 19-point winners, and Hawthorn, they went down to Port Adelaide by 30 points. As mentioned earlier, they were 71 points down in the match. Really, really tough game to pick. Cats may have some more availability with some players on the horizon. They're getting back into the side. I suspect Hawthorn will come out breathing fire. I'm going to go the Cats. They had a pretty comprehensive win, albeit it was at GMHBA Stadium, where there's perhaps not as much room to work with versus the MCG is a bit wider in shape there. But what I did observe when we played the Hawks last time was we were able to minimise that ball movement from half back. We out-pressured the Hawks massively, got off to a great start. We also did, before they got to 0-5, started off in a big way. So if the Cats get off to a pretty good start, they'll go a long way to winning. Just think they've been able to rally themselves a little bit, the Cats, and I think, they're hopefully the better side on paper. Unfortunately, the game's not played on paper, so we'll see what happens. But, the Cats just going to be a close game, going to be, a classic, I think, with both sides putting their efforts into doing whatever they can to finish that top 4, top 6 long season. But we'll see how it all pans out. So I'll go the Cats there in a close one. All right, so we've got Brisbane to win by 14 points. Carlton, Essendon, Fremantle, GWS, Gold Coast, Sydney, St Kilda, and Geelong are my picks for round 6. Okay, I'm buggered. That's all from me, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment who you think's going to win over the weekend. If there's any upsets that you've got in mind, a point of difference, chuck those in. I'd be interested to hear your feedback on that. Thank you for tuning in to the Round 6 tips for this week. Appreciate it. Have a good one, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.